here we go. Let's see how wrong I can be this season. I was just above 500 at the end last season against the spread. Of course, my picks straight up are much better. That's a lot easier. But the previous seasons before that, I was much better. Let's see if I can be on par with those types of years where I was like 63 to 72% against the spread. Let's get back to that, all right? Week 1 picks, though. We haven't seen any of these teams play yet that I have in my picks. So, here it is, week 1. We're starting Saturday because Thursday and Friday and Sunday and Monday games could go any which way. They are some of those fluky things where it's not a set time, but it's at the beginning of the year. What I'm trying to say is it's not natural. I'm going with Saturday games. They're much easier. There's not as much wackiness on Saturday games. So here we go. Week 1. We're starting at noon. And guess what? Big noon. I don't know if Dave Portnoy is going to be allowed into the stadium or not, but hell, I don't understand the whole big thing. Fox, big noon on Fox, has Urban Meyer, who's a total homer for Ohio State, and he talks about all kinds of crazy shit against Michigan. Why can't Michigan have one of those on there? And I understand the nation not wanting that. Michigan, Ohio State, the two of them there. Maybe that's why it's not happening. There's a rift going on right there. But anyway, I digress. At noon, the big noon game is Texas at Ohio State. Number 1 at number 3, I believe. And both of these teams lost a ton of talent to the NFL. I think both of them double digits. I'm sure both of them had double digits to the NFL. I think one 13 and one 15 or something crazy. But Texas. And both of these teams recruit nicely. And there's a difference, though. Texas returns both of their coordinators. Ohio State does not. The game is at Ohio State in the Horseshoe. But Texas went to Michigan last year after Michigan won the national title, which was 15-0, by the way. So I think Ohio State shot their load last year. 2 losses. Wound up winning the whole thing. Lost a lot of talent. How good are they really? Sark and all his coordinators and coaches are back. Arch Manning played versus Ohio State last season in the playoff. Got a taste of it. Julian Sayin has not, the quarterback for Ohio State. It's on the road, but I think Texas wins 27-17. Yes, I think their defense holds Sayin and that offense. Yes, they have all those wide receivers, but if they ever watch any Michigan tape versus Ohio State, just make them run the ball. And then your front 7 will shut that down, and then you'll get after Julian Sayin. And maybe Julian Sayin is the first quarterback that isn't that good at Ohio State in like 23 years. We'll see. You have to set the tone, Texas. I have you winning by 10 points. Ohio State is favored by 2.5 at home. I am betting Texas outright. That is one of my picks. All right, also at noon, Syracuse is at Tennessee. Tennessee lost Amalivia, but they traded quarterbacks with UCLA, brought in a pretty good one. Syracuse lost Kyle McCord, who was the transfer from Ohio State last year, who got them to 10 wins. Did Syracuse get 10 wins last year? Tennessee's going to win this game at home 31-17. Then I looked at the line, and it's 13.5. So a half-point difference with Tennessee winning. I picked Tennessee to cover, but I'm not going to bet this game too close. Too close for comfort. All right, in week 1. At 3:30, Nevada is at Penn State. And Penn State is going to win this game big, huge. But how huge and how many points are they going to give up to Nevada defensively? I have Penn State winning this game 52-10. The line is Penn State minus 44. So I have a 42-point difference in Penn State's favor. Vegas thinks 44. I'm going to take Nevada and all of them 44 points, but I'm not going to bet this game because I think Penn State could just run over everybody. But with the running clock now in college football, like it is in the NFL, it doesn't stop until under 2 minutes. Basically you have 2-minute warnings now in college football. The clock runs even with an incomplete pass, or no, I think it's an incomplete pass, but even if you go out of bounds and stuff, the clock just keeps running. So it's hard to, unless you have huge plays or march down the field really quick, it's hard to score a whole lot of points now and have your defense rested to get you the ball back to score more points. See, it's all connected. But, Penn State's going to destroy Nevada. All right. And then also at 3:30, Marshall is at Georgia. Another one of these huge numbers. I think Georgia's going to win 42-0. They're going to shut them out. The line is 39.5. So if Georgia doesn't shut them out and they get 3 points, Marshall would cover that number. So this is another close one to call, but I'm going to have faith in Georgia. I'm going to have faith in Gunnar Stockton, and I think Georgia their defense can get the shutout, 42-0. I'm going to bet Georgia covers the 39.5. All right. Alabama, also at 3:30. Another huge game. This is probably another great game here. 3 out of 5 have been pretty good, I think, matchups to start on paper. And it's Alabama this time at Florida State. Alabama, a lot of these teams are in my national title contenders. That's why they're on this paper here right now, and I'm doing these picks. But at Florida State, how much can Florida State improve from their 2-win season last year? The year before that, they were undefeated and then got blowed the fuck out by Georgia, right? In the game after they lost their quarterback, of course. But still, and then before that, they didn't make a bowl for the longest time. So this game is at home. It's Alabama. How much does Florida State want this game? That's what I'm wondering here. I think Alabama has too much talent. They're going to go on the road there, and they're going to score 38 points for that defense. 38. And they're going to give up 24. That's a 14-point difference. And then I looked at the line, and it's Alabama by 13.5 points. So do I think they get that half point? Like I said, too close to call. I'm not betting that one, but Alabama wins on the road. All right. At 4 o'clock, you have Montana State at Oregon. Another huge number here. But this one is too small. I had Oregon winning 45-10 with Dante Moore at quarterback now. Who's Montana State? Why is the line only 29.5? It concerns me, but I have Oregon beating that by 5.5 points. I'm going to bet that game. Oregon covers the 29.5. All right, then at 7:30, we have 2 crucial games. One of them is yours truly, go blue. But we'll start with LSU and Clemson. And if you have watched my videos, you know that these 2 teams are in my national title. preseason national title. I have the right to change things as we go along, and that's where we start right here with my picks. But, after each demonstration from each team, every game matters, and I have a right to change my mind along the way. But yes, I had LSU with Garrett Nussmeier at Clemson and Cade Klubnik. Both these teams, both these head coaches are great. I think they will find their way back into the playoff, both of them, and meet in the national title. But that was just on a playoff scenario that I did. You can go watch it. Maybe I'll put it in the cards at 10:44. You got to remember that. 10:44. But Clemson is going to win this game at home. Brian Kelly and Nussmeier are going to lose to Dabo and Klubnik at home. The defensive line was going to be a very close game, 31-27. They're going to be able to score. I think their offenses are good enough to score. So I don't know what the over-under is for this game and on the total points, but this might be an over. I didn't look at that, but I did look at the line for the game, and it's Clemson minus 4 points. Just what I predicted. So I have to stay away from that game as well this week. And then New Mexico is at Michigan. And I had Michigan winning 38-3. And at the time I bet this game, Michigan was favored by 37 points. I had Michigan winning by 35 points. So that's a 2-point difference there. I bet New Mexico to cover that spread. I'm betting that game, that right there. But I see that now that I look back, that I looked at it again, the line has moved from 37 to 35. So the same thing. But the win total here is what I'm interested in as well, because I have 41. I think they have New Mexico scoring more than 3 points and Michigan scoring more than 38 points. I think the win total was like 49 or something. I might just go ahead and bet the under on that as well. But anyway, Michigan is not going to cover a 37-point spread with a rookie quarterback and all that newness there. And they're going to try to run the ball. They're going to try and play keep away. They're going to help their defense. If the defense scores, then that's another touchdown. But it's not going to be enough to beat 37 points in week 1. There's my picks for week 1. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Go back and watch my predictions if you have not seen them. And have a great night, everybody. Man, the season is here. Let's go.